So my first goal as a person and in the organizations, I like seeing the change in the life of the person. So I want all my students to get where they wanted when they started the course.
In a moment, we'll visit Wild Code School London. And there are a few questions we'll talk about, we'll discuss. But I think the central one is this. There's a reskilling evolution that's going on, essentially. Universities are really good for intellectual growth, for raising awareness and understanding the world better now. But are they falling short in preparing the people for the jobs that are needed by the economy? And where do code schools fit in this whole thing? Can being a software developer increase your odds at getting a better job, getting a better paying job, and building a cool business, being a CTO? How long does it take to learn coding, and what you should focus on? So these are some of the questions that we'll discuss, and much more. I'll see you inside in the second home office of Wild Code School London. See you there. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having us. Hello and welcome to another episode of Startups of London. Yes, we are talking about reskilling. Understanding the world is very, very difficult now because industries and jobs and our place in society has been changing immensely, and I think I got the perfect person here to talk about this. Carolina from Wild Code School London. I'm glad to be here with you. Can you please introduce yourself and tell just a bit about your role in Wild Code School, and we can then get on to discussing really hot and pressing topics for people.
Amazing. So I'm Carolina. I'm originally from Brazil and I live in the UK for the last 7 years. I've been working with education for 12 years now, and I started the project of Wild Code School in London. So I'm the campus manager in here, what means I do from student coaching, recruitment, marketing.
Everything.
Everything. I started the project and so on.
In the past, people would pick a university, pick a degree, like I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be an engineer, etc. And then they would graduate, go into that field, and it would work out. But now, it's been changing, right? I'm not talking about Wild Code School by itself, but in general, there is this movement of non-university education places, let's call it. Why do you think that need comes from?
Well, I think when I did university, when I choose to go to university, we were like, okay, I choose to be an engineer, a doctor, and that's going to be my career for the rest of my life. And you're like 30 years doing the same thing. Now the world is changing too fast. So the necessity for like, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to travel and study something else. So shorter and more practical courses, that gives you more freedom. I think the necessity comes from that.
Because of the direction whole industries are headed, a lot more software development positions people are required, essentially. So is that a thing? Is there a shortage of software developers still in this day and age?
Yeah, it's technology. Everything is technology. So even if you say, I don't like technology, but you're all the time on your phone, on your social media, so you do like technology.
Can you tell about the business model and how does this structure work?
Yeah, so we at school, we launched it 5 years ago in France, and from there they opened 14 campuses in France, and last year we started international expansion. So in the last year we opened 15 campuses in Europe,
wow,
including London, to become a European network of schools to especially facilitate this freedom that a developer can have. So you learn how to be a developer in Lisbon, and you come to work in London, then you go to Bucharest, then you are in Amsterdam, and we have a community of wilders, that's why we call our alumni and the staff as well, that we all can communicate on Slack and everywhere, so we can exchange best practice of working everywhere in Europe.
I realized that learning is mostly about social interactions. It's a very big part of that, like social learning. So what are the key things about building a real community?
Community, it's a personal interaction, so you can have millions of followers, but community is what is every day in here in the school. It's the safe space that we create for you to come here every day in a good mood or in a bad, but we're here to learn, to help each other, and to be comfortable. As an example, in all the schools, we don't wear shoes in the schools.
Really?
No, it's to be comfortable. It's like your second home. Well, we are the second home here, but yeah, you don't have to wear shoes. It's to be comfortable.
Everybody comes with their socks then? Is that the case?
We have Wildcode school socks with our logos because all the students get.
You have school socks with your logos on them?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about community.
Yeah, that's like, so we have an online platform that everyone in all the campuses can talk. So if a student did a quest or something in London, it can ask someone in another country to correct and validate.
This reminds me, I was having a conversation with a friend who runs like a learning business as well, and we talk about this self-selection, the fact that people, just like fish taking the similar bait, people's like-minded individuals come to similar places in a way. So I think that's like a very good advantage, automatic part of building a great community of people who can get along well on a really personal level. If we think about that, and if you think about the students that you have in here, what are some things that they have in common?
I think the main thing, especially in London, that they have in common is the passion for tech and want to be a developer. Because in London, our students come from very different backgrounds, nationality, culture, and age. So I have a student that are 20 years old from Indonesia, let's say, and a 45 that's from South Africa. And to be honest, at the moment, only the instructors is British.
I've run into two questions that I've seen people frequently ask, and I'll phrase them to you, and I hope you answered them. So one of them is, people are curious about this essentially. Do companies hire people who do not have university degrees in computer science, etc., but went to essentially to boot camp?
Yeah, they do. We had a panel 2 weeks ago with a cloud developer from Google, and she clearly said Google doesn't require anyone to have a degree. My boss doesn't have a degree.
Okay.
So it's like if you go there and you do the job, you do the work, and you're capable.
The second question that was very frequently asked, very often asked, was, but what is the program structure like? Like, how long does it take? Like, how does it start? And how often people need to come here? Do they come here? So can you walk us through that, please?
Yeah, so we have 2 intakes for the full-time program in London. In March and in September, so it's
March and September, okay.
First and second semester, like university works.
Makes sense.
And the course takes 5 months.
And do they come here every day? How does that work?
Yeah, they come here every day. The full-time, yes, we offer full-time and part-time courses. So the full-time, they come here Monday to Friday, 9 to 6. It's like a job for 5 months.
What were some challenges, especially with London? And let's talk about London a bit around that. What has been your observation about this city? And I would really like to hear your thoughts on that.
So I think London is also very like a quick city, as everything happens really quick in here. And I have a lot of people that wants to do something different, and sometimes just to add up, they want to have a business, but they want to do the course to understand the technical part. They don't have time in here, so I have a lot of students looking for part-time options. That's why we launched it here, and we started this in London to facilitate people that needs to keep working for many reasons, because life in London is expensive and fast-paced. They want to change their lives, but they can't stop everything.
It's always about resource management, right?
Yes, resource management. Like I want to change, but it can't be like I need to stop everything and start a new life. It needs to be step by step. You can keep the life you have now and do your soft transition into your new life without needing like to not work for 5 months or for 3 and have all the money saved. You can keep your life and do little by little, step by step.
So here we are with Asleigh. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us more about why you've joined here, and I really want to understand more about this business through your lens.
Sure. Well, I mean, I've been a developer for several years, and I've always kind of been in the office, in the agency environment, but I've always kind of been a bit more of a hybrid. So when I had the chance to become an instructor, it was something very new for me, but I think kind of suited my personality. And I think developers are becoming more and more kind of hybrid, and that's why it's actually not that difficult to find people who are willing to teach. So going into education kind of spoke to me quite a bit when I joined, and I've been here ever since. And this business is all about really just getting people to experience what I've experienced before as being a developer, and also working on all of their skills, including their soft skills. So yeah.
It is difficult for me to imagine what it is like as a day-to-day thing. So can you give us some insight to how that is like?
Sure. Well, I mean, developers, I mean, it's no joke. We do spend probably about 80 or 90% of our time debugging. So you're not necessarily always kind of writing code and writing new things and creating amazing programs. You are also fixing a lot of bugs in your code. There's, obviously with any company there comes a bit of admin and time tracking and those sort of things. Developers also have to interact with the other departments, like the UX designers, the project managers, product owners. They all really work hand in hand. And even with client briefings, talking to clients, presenting pitches to clients, they are getting more and more involved in that. It's also really about the communication bridge that was not really existent, a while back. Developers always were sitting kind of in the corner doing their code, and there was never really this communication that we have now between designers and developers, and so timelines were always kind of messed up, and so now they're able to plan better, to brainstorm together, so that we know what's at our fingertips together for the companies.
Yeah. So you have the personal experience, but on top of that, you've observed a lot of people coming in, different personas, different personalities, characters, and you must have observed some traits and trends in a way, in regards to which type of people are more successful and more adept at doing that, versus which type of people find it more difficult to get into that. So what do you have to say about that?
There's always that myth that you have to kind of be a really logical maths expert.
Mr. Spock.
Yes, exactly. And the truth is, like, for example, I'm not really that good at maths at all, but I was able to become a programmer. You see a lot of people coming in that are kind of graphic designers that are looking to upskill as the job requirement is becoming more development involved. A lot of people come through the course to understand their developers better, so you get a lot of product owners, project managers, as well as mostly people who are doing career changes. And I mean, the personalities and types of people really ranges. I can't even specify. It's really all that we kind of require is for people to be really committed, because it is quite an intense course and quite an intense transformation, I think.
I think everything you said was very valuable. Thanks for sharing those with us.
No problem.
And I'm really curious what resources you would recommend to people who have not yet made the full-on decision to pay for this, to come as a full-time or as a part-time student, but want to research and learn about this. What is the journey that they should be starting to take?
Well, I think the first and best option is real models, like ask to talk to alumni, someone that just graduated, and ask, what was your journey? What was your life? How was your life before? And how is your life now?
If I was someone who is watching this now and thought about becoming a student of Wildcourt School, is this something that I could do? Talk to students who have graduated?
Yeah, I recommend that first thing.
So they need to get in touch with you, with your organization, and ask for this?
Yes.
This is a fantastic thing that you're offering.
It's a fantastic idea, and actually I have one student that actually was my first student. She is our mentor now, it's how we call her, because as she's an ex-student, she's graduating now, she's already working and really happy. She can help with the experience she had and also with the application process, because we have like a challenge, a coding challenge that some people, especially the beginners, have a lot of difficulty, so we have alumni to help them with that.
One thing that I want to touch a bit before we conclude is, what are your most ambitious goals when you look at the future, like 6 months from now on, 1 year from now on? Can you talk us through about some of your goals for this organization?
So my first goal as a person and in the organizations, I like seeing the change in the life of the person. So I want all my students to get where they wanted when they started the course. So I coach all of them individually for them to get a job, and all of them want different things. Some want a stable job, some want to launch their own app, and I go with them on this journey to make sure are we on track.
Okay.
Yeah, it might seem a bit like really, but yes, it's really like I'm a really people's person, and I want to see like, I don't want you to do the course and then, oh, I don't like this. No, you did that, you took your time, you took your money, you invested on it, so make your dream come true. We're here to help that to happen.
Okay, very good, very good. Is there anything you'd like to add, or resources, websites, links that people should know about your business and where to find?
Another really good resource, we do workshops once a week. That is like a taste of the program. So it's in here in our school, one of our instructors teach, and it's always a subject that we teach in class, so you can have like the student, the prospect can have a little taste of what they're gonna have. So it's a good, like, you talk to a student, you see the journey, you come here, you see what we do, you see if you like it, if it matches your expectations. I think that's the best way.
I think it's all about community building, really, and you touched on that. And it's about bringing people together, creating the right atmosphere of trust and vulnerability where people help each other.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing. And from what I've seen, you have accomplished that to a certain degree, and it looks like it's gonna be like that in the future. So I mean, I've enjoyed this conversation we've had. Thank you very much for being a part of this. And I mean, for all the people listening in, take a look at Wildcourt School. It's really good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.